Okay, let's go into some ranked games with a random character and see what we're gonna get today. Looks like we're playing the mage, and we do start off with an Amulet of Energy with a magic for dummies. And we also get a twine badge, so we can go for maybe even a practically large greatsword, which seems like it could be a lot of fun. Definitely so, but let's go ahead and start off by grabbing a wooden sword. If we grab the twine badge, we're gonna have a high chance to lose because we have an item that literally does nothing right now for us, except speed up our wooden sword for 1 second. An item that literally does nothing as well because we have no mana generation since we are the puzzle box. And an item that's going to do nothing for us since we've no crafted weapon. So we're definitely going to lose if we take this twine badge. Even though I do want to go for a practically large greatsword, I don't think we can really afford to grab it. However, it would counteract our puzzle box once we do craft up an item. So I'm going to take it anyway. Let's take a banana, let's take the stone, let's roll once. And I'm going to go for this torch because once it's crafted up, then we can speed it up. I would like to keep our magic for dummies, but at the same time, I kind of want to sell it so we can grab ourselves a garlic. But let's rock on with this. Let's craft up a torch to speed up, get crazy damage on it. But we are facing a hammer with 15 more effective HP. So we're definitely going to get hammer smashed. No problem for sure. Especially since we've a banana and a sword, that's it. But at least we got our torch. We got our torch, we got our storage. We got a puzzle bag of rune if we want to try and inflict a bunch of debuffs. I mean, this is crazy early on. We could try to go for snow sticks with the twine badge, triggering them faster. But duplicating buffs doesn't really make too much sense for us. But that's kind of nuts. Now, we really do want to grab our wand though. And we want to grab some regen because then we're actually going to be stacking up either luck or mana from our wands. The real question is, do we want this puzzle bag of rune? I kind of do want to grab it, but lots of Ventron. And we should have a much better chance of winning out for now because this is going to be going normal pace. After 5 seconds, it's going to get sped up by our puzzle box, except our opponent does have a lot of damage with a frying pan broom. And we do need a little bit of time to get our max life stacking. And we might have just barely saved ourselves with that small bit of a heal. It's looking super close. And actually, can we win out? Just barely. Holy moly, was that way too close for comfort. Now this gives us no please. It also gives us Arcane Vision, which I haven't seen in such a long freaking time. Which is going to give us a bunch of spell scrolls, so we can go crazy on our spell scrolls. I do like it quite a bit. No Rush Please could be kind of fun too. Since we're going to get a No Rush Please, or since we're going to get a rune bag as well. But I think I'm going to take Arcane Vision. Now still, do we want the puzzle bag of rune? We could also go Boomerang. I'm going to take it. It does give us a puzzle bag of love, which is kind of interesting, but I might not take it. I might roll. And I wouldn't mind grabbing another magic for dummies, but again, we just don't have enough mana. But I'm going to take it because it can give us a buck, and we can use our HP as a resource to gain mana, which is kind of crazy. I think it's a little bit too crazy for us though. So I think I'm going to roll once more, and you on still I will gladly take. But let's move on once again. We just need a crazy absurd amount of mana generation with our Arcane Vision. We're going to speed up our spell scrolls, our spells, our magic for dummies, just a little bit faster as well. Our mana items do trigger 30% faster, so it is going to be relatively nice overall. Now our opponent does have a magic staff. They're going to be inflicting a lot of poison on us. Now poison is stacking up relatively fast. And unfortunately, it is going to beat us down. Alright, let's grab you. That's amazing. Should we go for a lantern berry? Honestly, I've never really ever crafted one of these up. Every 2.1 seconds, use 1 mana to cleanse 3 debuffs. If you've none, gain luck and regen. I'm not sure if I do want to, so I'm going to roll for now. Gonna start a little starve courage to go ahead and grab ourselves a big old bag. Puzzle bag of love could be kind of nice, especially now that we got ourselves a spell scroll. Blessing of Purity. But I'm going to venture on once again, and at least now we got a little bit of heals with a Blessing of Purity. Now, it's actually going to cleanse debuffs, it's not going to give us any heals. And opponent with the Daggerang, Boomerangs, they're going to be stealing our buffs, so it's not going to be that great. But as long as we scale up our max life, as long as we have enough mana to scale up our max life, we should be in a pretty good spot to just be able to scale up the damage on our torch. Maybe. Because we don't really care too much about stacking up buffs. Just getting our max life. Our opponent also scales up some max life with the twine, but it's not looking too bad this time around. Definitely not. They're stealing our regen, they have 8 regen, and amazing. Now this Frieren's Guide to Ice on sale. I'm definitely going to take it. No book this time, unfortunately. But it's going to be nice because it will be using up our mana. Now we need a crazy absurd amount of mana generation. I'd love to grab another Magic for Dummies, but let's grab our storage. Another rune bag. Hell yeah, I'm going to sell this to actually go ahead and take it. We're going to keep rolling. Do we want the armor on sale for 4? I think I'm going to ignore it, but yeah, let's keep going. And we do have a 40% chance, well a 50% chance to duplicate the cold we do inflict with a Frieren Sky dice. So it could be kind of nice, we could slow down our opponent by quite a bit, and they have a mana thirst. Holy moly, they managed to get a mana orb, which I'd love to get right now as well. Then we can actually make use of our Arcane Vision and our spells a lot better. We got a decent bit of cold on our opponent, slowing down just a little bit with 8 colds, it's kind of nice. We got a little bit of max life as well, and our torch is putting in an absurd amount of work with a 9.4 DPS. Hell yeah. Amazing even. And we do get a Nature's Chronicles. Now that's going to use regen to give us luck and spikes. We do get a Mage's Hat, which can give us mana. But I'm going to take a fanny pack. I'm going to roll. I'm going to take the book since it is on sale, and that's another Frieren's Guide to Ice. How do we not take 2 of these? How do we not go nuts? How do we not go nuts with a Frieren's Guide to Ice? Problem is, again, we need mana generation. We're just finding 0 blueberries, 0 mana orbs, 0 ones. There's all items that use up a bunch of mana. Now, unfortunately, we are facing a Turbo Shilly, so that colds we do inflict with a Frieren's Guide dice is going to do nothing. Especially since they're stacking up so much heat. Yeah, we're definitely going to lose this fight, unfortunately. They're going to have so much damage with that Burning Blade, Burning Torch combo. And, yes, I'm going to be close. Turbo Shilly just counters completely by cleansing any cold we do inflict. And we do want to lose now. And we actually found ourselves a freaking Prismatic Orb before we even found a single mana orb. Let's take you 2. It does give us a puzzle bag improvements I'm not going to be too fussed about. And that is a mana orb. Now I would have liked to go for Magic Torch, but there's no chance of going for Magic Torch right now. Definitely not. But at least we're going to start with 12 mana, which means we should be able to actually get Empower from our wands, stack up max life, inflict our colds. Do we want to grab ourselves a Cat Spirit Companion as well? I think I'm just going to take our mana orb, and I think we're just going to move on. We are facing an Excalibur. Holy moly, can we actually find ourselves a weapon? We're still rocking a torch. Our opponent does have a Hunger Blade Excalibur. Have we seen any upgrades to weapons? No Hunger Blades, no Turn Whips, no Ripsaw Blades, no fancy Rapiers. Yeah, not so much craziness so far. If I did, I missed it. Now we got a lot of cold on our opponents, which is kind of nice. These Frieren's Guide to Ices are actually putting in insane work. But our opponents does still have quite a bit of damage between their Excalibur and their Hunger Blade. So it's still looking a bit close for us, but hell yeah. Not too bad even. Now we do a chase to make, and since we got Frieren's Guide to Ice and some puzzle bags of rune, do we actually want to go Water Elemental? I do like this guy quite a bit. If we had a Magic Torch, I probably would go because we would be able to scale up our damage. But this guy also scales up our mana. So it could be kind of fun as well. Now if we had Null Blades, I probably would go Herald the Hateful Hat. But let's take this guy, because you also get sped up, and that is a turn whip. We did finally get an upgrade. Should we go for it? Well, at least we're going to take our mana orb. Should we take it? I'm going to take the Twine. But I'm going to do something crazy and I'm going to roll. Now, that can be an Ice Flower. We can craft up that Ice Flower, which will also inflict a little bit more cold. So I'm going to be down for that, actually. Let's take it. And it does give us this a spell called Dark Frenzy. So we can either go for Devouring Spear, scaling up our Vampirism, or we can go for Null Blade. Does Null Blade sound like a lot of fun in this whole setup? Because we're going to be slowing down opponents, we're also going to be inflicting colds, we're going to be removing buffs, we're going to be scaling up our own damage. It's going to be nice, and especially with our Arcane Vision, we're going to be speeding up as well. And with our Arcane Vision, along with our Twine Badge, it's going to be a nice little combo between both of them. So is there any way we can get our Null Blade right now? Because I really do want it that bad. We kind of want to keep reaching. I think we have to wait another round, unfortunately. Now, do we want to go Magic Torch into Null Blade? Because we did get our health up. You know, I think I'm going to. But I do have a Water Elemental in this spot. So it should be relatively awesome. We should be able to get a little bit more mana. We should also be able to speed up with our Arcane Vision. And we should be able to inflict a little bit more cold with our Frieren's Guide to Ice. And once we use up 10 mana, we're going to heal on hit. And once we use up 20 mana, we're going to gain more damage. But we do need to scale up to 30 mana used, so we can keep inflicting a bunch of colds. Wait, not too bad. Actually looking kind of smashing. we got our Ice Flower, which is going to use mana to give us a 30% chance to inflict a little bit more colds. Let's grab our bag, plus a bag of love. Let's grab you too. Unfortunately didn't get one. Let's grab our Helper and let's roll again. That's another Frieren's Guide dice. How do we not keep taking these awesomenesses? To the point where we're going to sell one of our Magic for Dummies to go ahead and grab another one. And yeah, I'm just going to be taking all Frieren's Guide dice. This is actually just going to be Frieren's Guide to Ice, the video. But let's get moving on. So we're going to be using up every bit of mana to be inflicting a bunch of colds. We do have 11 cold on our opponents. Almost 20 colds within 5 seconds. It's kind of nice actually. And we already got 10 mana used. And where I got 20 mana used, can we get to 30 mana? Within 12 seconds. I keep going back and forth over it. Now we just barely got it. 13 seconds it takes us. Which is not bad. But definitely not an instant proc mana orb. However, we're going to get our Solace. Our Null Blade. Now, should we go Enchanted Weapons Null Blade to be removing buffs left, right, and center? Should we go for Tombers? Should we go for Fortuna's Kiss to increase our chances to inflict that cold? I mean, it's a 30% chance to increase our 30% chance, so basically it's going to be 39% chance to inflict that cold. Is it really going to be that worth it? I mean, it also helps us get our luck for our Null Blade, so it's not the end of the world to grab this. But it's not a crazy skill either. Neither is Enchanted Weapons though. Or Tombers. Tombers does stun our opponent, but that's literally about it. So I'm a little bit bummed on our skills. Should we go for a gamble? Should we just take more stats? More stats for max life. Deal 5% more damage on our weapons. I mean, it's probably going to be better than Enchanted Weapons. Or Tombers, to be honest. Let's go ahead and gamble. Okay, guard power. Honestly, not great. We will stack up a regen though for Null Blade, so it's not the end of the world. Let's grab you, and no spells, that's okay. Let's take a fanny pack. Plus a bag of love we could take. I'm not as interested in love bags. And we can use a regen to give us a luck and spikes. Now we do need a regen for Null Blade to remove buffs, so I'm not going to take it. Even though it is on sale, we'll take it though to see if we can get another potentially Null Blade. So I'm going to sell you, and I do want to grab you. And we're going double Null Blades. So should we sell our torch to go ahead and grab it? Hell yeah, I'm going double Null Blades today. Now it does mean I kind of want to sell this to just go ahead and grab ourselves a set of blueberries. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And right now our Prismatic Orb is going to give us 12 mana. And we should be able to stack up a lot of cold on our opponents. That's for sure. So yeah, let's get going. Let's go ahead and definitely grab up a second Null Blade. Our opponent does have a freaking double snow stick, so it's going to be a lot of cold stacked up on us. So who's going to stack up more colds? We'll see, because they also stack up cold on themselves. So it's going to be really, really nice. Our opponent does end up stacking up a lot of blind on us, so our accuracy is going to get worse and worse since we use up our luck to skill up our damage on our Null Blade. But that's an insane amount of cold on opponents, slow them down to a snail's pace, and we should be able to win out, potentially. Now our opponent does have Mr. Struggles, so once they drop below half HP, our Shelly is going to go faster, along with Mr. Struggles, which could give him the advantage. But that's a big old damage from our Null Blade, and amazing. Definitely so. Our second Null Blade is going to be smashing. Do we want to go for a Badger to scalp our max life? Do we want to grab Healing Reduction? I think we want to grab Healing Reduction right now. Yep, we're definitely going to Healing Reduction. I'm not going to take the Badger. I'm going to move on with this. This should be pretty darn sweet. Definitely so. We should be able to stack up even more cold on opponents with triple weapons, basically our Water Elemental, 2 Null Blades, move a lot of buffs from our opponents. Now unfortunately we are facing a double axe who literally does not use any buffs. So we could have faced a worse opponent than that opponent for sure. But at least we got our cap to reduce opponent's healing. We grab a storage. We're going to grab this storage because that's going to be damage reduction for a longer time. Grab our cupcake for now, which actually isn't a nature item by the way. But let's get going again. Now you on sale I'm going to gladly take because it is potentially going to give us another bulk, which it didn't. And I'm not sure if we do want to stack up a lot of mana this way. So I'm going to sell it, keep rolling. Invulnerability will use up a lot of mana, pretty much activating one of our Water Elemental's effects. So it is kind of nice. But it will use up their mana instantly, negating our cap, so I don't necessarily really want to. And do we want to try go for another Null Blade? Maybe not, but I would like to go ahead and grab ourselves a Devouring Spear. That loss could be kind of amazing as well. So definitely will be taking it. Let's get going once again. I'd love to grab more Frieren Sky dice. We already have 4. And we'll see how we get on. Our opponent does have a little bit of blind on us. They do have the turtle, but the faster we inflict our colds, the slower this turtle gets. And a 20-second turtle is crazy bad. It's already up to 23 seconds. I mean, the block they're going to get from it is not going to be too great. For sure. 27-second turtle is nuts. They're definitely trying to go for a turbo turtle with chili pepper or chili goobers. But again, we just removed all their buffs, made them super slow, and amazing. Now you're going to be free monies. Let's grab you. No free book this time. We could offer up a crazy absurdness for that. And we could grab another room bag. Shall we grab ourselves a Catspirit Companion to use up mana to give us more power? It also gives us luck for our Null Blade, so we probably do need to grab our cat. Now is there anything we want to get rid of with our Unslippery Bob later? Probably not, to be honest. I'm not going to put in our Dark Frenzy because we're going to end up inflicting a lot of blind on ourselves, which we do not ever want. Let's get going once again. Now I did move our guard power to this side so we can potentially get our buff stacked up a little bit faster. It is 3 seconds. Our opponent is rocking triple lamps, magic staff, with a piercing arrow with double freaking shields. They're going to be eating up all their stamina for sure. But as long as we slow them down, we steal their buffs. They cannot use their Jin's lamps to lamp their magic staff. They can't even get scaling damage on their staff, and they can't get crits on their piercing arrows. Since they did even take it outside the ranger bag, they're going to only get their crits from basically one tiny bit of luck. That's 130 I was going to say poison. Cold, we do get a big mana of bomb. And it's actually looking kind of crazy. Definitely so. And what are we going to give us? Scripture of Light. It is a book. We will use our mana to give us a regen for our Null Blade, so I'm going to be super glad to take it. But I do want to grab this and slot it in up top. And that is a second Puzzle Bag of Endurance. I got to take both of these. Increasing our damage reduction, and we could sell our helmet to grab the Glowing Crown. Now the reason to do that is because it will give us invulnerability for an insane amount of time instead of the damage reduction. Now we also want to grab our cat, but we won't be able to get crits with our cat in this spot on both our weapons. We gotta take it. I'm also going to sell you. Or maybe we actually want this down below. Yeah, because then we can duplicate the debuffs we do inflict with our Ice Flower, which will be kind of nice, especially on our Water Elemental as well. And I think that's going to be kind of awesome. We can have our cat in here, which will help us with a Prismatic Orb. We'll also get crits on both our Null Blades, and we still get our Ice Flower in this spot, so it's going to be kind of nice. Guard Power is probably going to sit up top in somewhere like here for now. That's going to be 3 class-specific items, not going to be too crazy. That's going to be less, actually. However, if you just put this here as well, yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. Now again, I don't want our Dark Frenzy in at all, but I'm going to keep rolling. I need these items, not exactly. Definitely want to grab a tiny bit of storage. Puzzle Bag improvements we could take, but another ones will be awesome. Definitely be awesome. Let's get moving. We should be in a crazy good spot to slow down our opponents completely, as well as just scale up our damage and just remove our opponents' buffs like crazy as well. So not only do we slow down our opponents, we scale up our damage, we remove their buffs, and we're just going for some craziness with a Water Elemental with the Null Blades. And it's not going to be close, hell yeah. Now I do like the skill quite a bit, Arcane Vision. I don't get to play with it too often, to be honest. It's kind of difficult to actually get. But hey, we do have a 45 DPS, our opponent does have a 10 DPS, but we have slowed him down quite a bit. In terms of heals, we only have 100 healing in total, with 14 max life gains, and in terms of block, we do only have 45 block. So our huge win con is inflicting that cold. Can we continue on? We're definitely going to try at least. Now every book we see on sale we're going to take. And unfortunately we didn't get any luck this time. Let's go ahead and grab a set of blueberries. Blueberries? What the freak? Let's go ahead and sell it, and let's go ahead and grab you too. Now every cold item beside a Water Elemental attacks faster. Every Mage item is going to increase our chances to gain mana from this guy. So we definitely want as much cold items around it as possible. So we could place this down below, and yeah, that's not going to be looking too bad. Let's set our stone to keep rolling. And we could buy this book, but I'm not as interested in it. So I'm going to venture on with this once again. We'll see how we deal with double snow sticks, corrupted armor. This could be troublesome because we're not going to be able to cleanse those debuffs. Our opponent is going to be reflecting cold back on us, so we're going to be going really, really slow. This is one build that could destroy us because they also got a stone armor to remove iron power. But can we keep up? Because they got insane armor with 2 corrupted armors. And unfortunately, yeah, this is the one build that is going to destroy our cold stacking. Because it just reflects the cold back at us. Whatever they do get with a corrupted armor is going to cleanse it and reflect it back on us. So cold stacking build into this build is just going to shred our cold stacking build, unfortunately. If that makes sense. That was just a crazy winded way to say we're going to get smashed. And puts a back of energy I'm not as interested in. I definitely want to grab another helmet. Let's keep rolling. Let's grab this book. No book this time, unfortunately. Piggy bank, I'm not going to be picking up either. And that's kind of nuts. Let's sell you and you. And let's go ahead and craft you up. And should we go for another null blade? Can we go triple null blades? I don't think we really can. I was kind of aiming for another ice flower. Now imagine if we had a bunch of ice flowers in this build. With multiple weapons, it could actually get insane. But I'm going to reserve our Blessing of Purity and I'm going to venture on once again. And we are facing a life-stealing type build, but as long as we slow them down, they're going to have a tough time actually hitting us. Because if they're slowed down, they can't hit really, they can't life-steal, and we can slowly just whittle them down and just remove all their vampirism and all their buffs. And if they have no mana, they can't skill up their damage either. So it's going to be kind of nice. 76 golds. Now we are running stamina because our opponent does have a shield, but hell yeah. Not too bad once again. Now should we do a big old gamble, look for treasure, it does give us another rune bag. That's actually kind of amazing. So many rune bags, allowing us to apply a ton of debuffs. So let's go ahead and grab you. It does give us another spell, which is kind of nice. And right now I'm going to just continue on, and that's another ice block. Can we craft up this Devouring Spear? Because giving us a bunch of vampirism is going to be nice. We could go for a second ice flower, but I think I'd rather grab the Devouring Spear. More so than anything. So can we sell 5 gold worth of items? We can sell our cupcake staff, or cupcake. It helps us stack up our buffs, but I'm going to sell it. With a shiny shell. And this tiny little bit blue gemstone. So we can go ahead and grab you and craft you up. That's the second one. Should we go for Cold Mirror? We can't even go for Ice Flower. What am I talking about? Because we've no spell score or grow. But we can go for Cold Mirror. Give us more buffs. And just give us a chance to reflect those debuffs like our opponent was reflecting on us as well. But I'm not sure if we're going to have enough gold. We can sell our Twine Badge. It will slow down our Null Blade. We could actually sell it. With a Magic for Dummies. Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and craft up a Cold Mirror. And it's giving us more spells called Blessing Impurities. Which is kind of amazing. Let's go ahead and craft these up for now though, and let's go ahead and move on. So we do got quite a bit of healing reduction with double Capsule's Comfort as well. Bringing our opponent down to 20% because they do got lots and lots of healing as well. Now, our opponent is going to be cleansing a lot of debuffs with a card, with a bunch of cards. And they also resist quite a bit with the Shepherd's Crook, but we're dealing our big old damage. And it's not looking too bad. Definitely so. And with that, we're going to get our final crafted items being our Cold Mirror, which is going to be smashing, as well as our Devouring Spear. Because now you're going to give us a crazy amount of vampirism, allowing us to heal up quite a bit, which is actually going to be smashing. Now, I would have loved to grab more of these, to be honest. I'm going to roll again though. Instead of blueberries, I will be taking for just more mana, more luck. If you stack up over 10 mana, it's going to just give us luck, giving our scaling damage for Null Blades. So it is a bit of a no-brainer. And should we settle on one last Frieren's Guide to Ice? Hell yeah, we should. And our Scripture of Light could be kind of nice too. Should we sell this little blue gemstone? I mean, we do stack up a lot of mana, but we could just get rid of it to grab ourselves another Scripture of Light. Use our mana to give more regen. I'm gonna do it. And it gives us another Frieren's Guide to Ice. Holy moly, I have never seen this much Frieren's Guide to Ices. And I really do want to grab it, but we do kind of need every single item that we do have. Especially because we do need all our items. Banana to help with our stamina, our ones to potentially give us one of those buffs that we kind of need for Null Blades. Regen so we can remove our bonus buffs like crazy, and unfortunately, yeah, if we had one more rounds, I would gladly take, but since we don't, we're going to move on and we're going to see if this is going to be crazy enough to take on a Chili Excalibur. Because we're going to be slowing him down, We're going to be trying to remove their buffs. We're going to be causing a lot of chaos on opponents. Now they're going to have a chance to stack up a lot of blind on us. And do have a Divine Pot to cleanse a lot of colds. However, that's still a decent bit of colds, even though our opponents did get rid of pretty much 10 debuffs with that Divine Pot. And we are nullifying a lot of buffs, especially with 2 Caps Discomforts, but also on top of removing buffs and just slowing down opponents, and it's not going to be close whatsoever. And also our opponent had 2 Arms of Feasting as well, so that's going to be kind of crazy. But we did manage to win out with, how much DPS did we have? About a 60 DPS, being our Null Blades and a Water Elemental, doing a lot of work. And our opponents had a 5.2 DPS, which is kind of funny. In terms of heals, we did manage about 20 healing per second, which isn't actually that bad, since we're not stacking too much heals, and no max life. And how much block did we get? A crazy 45 block from 3 Protectoral Purse. Which yeah, the Mage's Arcane Vision, just a fantastic skill, a crazy fun skill, especially trying to get these spells, because these can be pretty difficult to get if you don't have this skill, to be honest. And getting double Null Blades, we could have had triple Null Blades, which would have been fun too. But overall, we did survive with 2 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. +9. We're ranking us up to 65, not too bad. But anyways, I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribe, and I hope to go for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're in some round 18 fights, and we're going to see how our builds can perform against other opponents. We are facing a Double Axe, who is, honestly, not going to depend too much on buffs. He also got shielded, so our stamina is going to be non-existent. That is going to be super true, but we got 30 cold on opponents, and it shouldn't be too bad from here. We stop our opponent from attacking, we take all their buffs, we slow them down, we create a lot of chaos, and we have 50% damage reduction for such a long period of time till we get our cold stacked up. And we got lots and lots of power, lots of vampirism, and it's not looking too bad, hell yeah. Now can we take on this meta Berserker build? They do have that Shepherd's Crook. So we're going to be inflicting half the amounts of cold that we would normally inflict. Now to have a Dragon Skin Boots, which they do, that's going to be 70% cold stacking. So this could be a bit troublesome. But we can remove a lot of their buffs, which might give us the advantage, except they do have a 48% chance for damage reduction. But our Null Blades should have scaled up quite a bit of damage, and we still got 64 cold with 70% cold resistance, and we win out. Hell yeah. And finally, can we take on this Excalibur, Lightsaber, Water Elemental? Honestly, didn't see the Water Elemental coming, but they are going to use up a lot of mana, so it does make a little bit of sense, but they're definitely not going to use up a whole lot of mana again, our build, for sure. Smashing.